Hey everyone, Laurel here, Minnesota Zone 5A. We're getting a snowstorm, so I just thought I'd film a little garden tour here. It's kind of heavy, wet snow, so it's going to be a lot to shovel and snow blow later. You can see the cat shelters are fairly protected by the table. We might try to make a little awning, bigger awning for that one. But it's really sticking to everything. It's really pretty. Probably doesn't show us on camera. It's snowing pretty hard. Like, we're supposed to get maybe 7 to 10 inches. If I'm a little sniffly, I'm getting over some kind of virus, cold, whatever. It's not COVID, I know that much, but my sister got the flu. We actually just came back from a cruise in the Caribbean. Got back just before Christmas. It's now December 28th today, so kind of between Christmas and New Year's. We had a really warm week. I brought back some of that warm weather with me, but also, luckily I didn't get sick until after I got back home. So my vacation wasn't ruined, but that was my first cruise ever. It was really fun. Went with our parents. It was really special, so I had a great time. And so kind of the best of both worlds. So, at Christmas time I get both beach and snow. Yeah, you can see just like this nice wet. Started a couple hours ago. A little bit. It's still pretty warm out for December. Let's see if my zoom works on here. Sometimes wearing gloves on my there we go. And holding an umbrella so I don't get the camera all wet. Because I do not have like a water resistant case on here or anything. I just love when the snow sticks to everything like that. You can see the hydrangea blooms get kind of weighed down. Again, all my evergreens had popped back up because a lot of the snowpack melted that we had before Christmas. We had probably about 10 inches on the ground with various pre-Christmas snowfalls, but yeah, very pretty. Birds are still out, of course. There's my beech tree all covered. So the base of that, I have the white wrap around the bark to protect it from sun scald and critters. I don't have deer, but I do have rabbits in the winter in particular. And had it not snowed, I would have come out and put some chicken wire around the base just to protect the rabbits from chewing at the like root flare area that's not protected by the wrap, but we've had enough snow cover that's been protected, and I haven't experienced the rabbits to dig down into the snow. They just chew stuff that they can reach easily. You can see the two evergreens over here a little bit weighted down. We've got this juniper and a North Pole arborvitae that I planted this summer. Dense branches on the viburnum here. This is Bailey's cranberry viburnum. So that really collects quite a lot of snow. And then the dogwood, it looks really neat here. Strawberry daiquiri dogwood, red branches, the white. This is a more mature North Pole arborvitae. I used to come out here when we get heavy snows like this with a broom and knock the snow off the branches, but I haven't the last couple years. And maybe if it's going to be like if when we get a heavy wet snow and then it dips really cold, to where the snow is not going to melt off of the branches right away, maybe I would, but it really hasn't affected it. They bounce back. They crush down a little bit and then bounce back. My other juniper here, the Troutman juniper, planted last summer. I hope that one does well. I'm excited for that one to get bigger. This is the other really weighed down. You can see how long those stems grow. I cut those all the way back. Those long stems leading up to the branches, that's all grew this year. 1 year's growth, just one summer. That's a little lime hydrangea, and that one's been there at least 5 years now. same thing. A lot of the blooms have been knocked off. The heavy snow knocks the blooms off. They're not particularly strongly attached to things, to the branches. But firelight hydrangeas, I have 2 of them here. And I don't worry about them getting weighted down because I cut them back so hard. It doesn't matter at all. It doesn't affect them. Millennium allium kind of holding up their stems pretty well with the heavy snow on top. We've got echinacea over here too. And that's really pretty, the red berries on these barberry here. Dark brown branches with the red berries and the white snow. It looks really very festive, very wintry, very demure. The drops of Jupiter ornamental oregano are totally weighed down. This is very heavy snowfall for them. I am overwintering another North Pole arborvitae here in the raised bed, collecting snow there. That is not where it's going to stay. I just healed it in because I don't have a place prepared to plant it yet. I'm going to move some things around in the spring, but otherwise the vegetable garden is at rest. You can see I have baskets, all kinds of things to protect against the feral cats digging and using empty blank soil, bare soil as a litter box. Over here I have my garlic planted in this raised bed. We'll see how it does. The last 2 years I've not had good luck. Well, 2 years ago I did have good luck in a raised bed. We had like a record, like once in 30 years type of mild winter, like crazy warm winter. Last year we had a pretty average winter, a lot of cold nights, and I only had 5 cloves survive. So I planted, you can kind of see those baskets sticking up from the snow. Those are like closet baskets turned upside down. I planted garlic in the ground because it's always done well in the ground for me. It's insulated enough, just no matter what kind of winter we have. That's a limelight hydrangea over there, and a willow, mostly perennials, and then another little lime hydrangea kind of over on this side. And then, let's see, I don't think I have another baby evergreen back there. That's a yew, or no, that's a DeGroot Spire arborvitae that I planted. Let me go look at this one over here, actually. It's very squeaky snow because it's so warm and wet. This is the yew. This one was tiny. That's a Stonehenge skinny yew. Tiny when I planted it. And that is the DeGroot Spire over there against the fence. Yeah, I don't think I'll need to bother. It's going to stay warm enough that the snow collecting on the branches won't last too long. You want to be careful because the branches, it's kind of memory. The wood remembers its shape. So if it stays kind of deformed for too long, it will remember that shape instead of snapping back to their upright position on the branches. It will undo sort of the upright original memory wood. Sorry for my sniffling. It's just kind of a head. Luckily, I didn't get norovirus. Nothing bad happened from the cruise. My sister tested positive for influenza, and she had it really bad. She was in bad shape. Pretty miserable. I just mostly had lots of congestion. And, that sort of sick, when you can tell your immune system is fighting something, that sort of malaise that you get when you're sick. There's another Troutman blue juniper. That was a little baby clearance one that I got for $8 and planted it late. I was going to heal that in too, but I thought, well, why would I heal it in somewhere when I could just plant it in the ground? That's the same thing. And you can see how insulated it is back here behind the garage. This is, I think, almost probably half a zone. This is the south side of the garage. I've said this before. But I think because it's the south side, just the heat sort of radiating off the surface, keeps this area warmer than the rest of the garden. It's like a little extra warm microclimate, and you can see that the snow isn't even, it's just melting right up against the garage. So I'm banking on that, keeping this newly planted evergreen alive over the winter. And if not, it was $8. It's not out a big chunk of money or anything. But yeah, there's a sedum right there collecting the snow. Another little Anna's Magic Ball arborvitae. These get pretty covered up because they're small even at maturity. That one's only about 2 feet tall and wide. Lots of perennials. Very pretty and peaceful. I like being out in the snow because it just kind of muffles everything, especially driving. Last snowstorm we had, before I went on my trip, I actually went out and did some errands because I knew it wouldn't be nearly as busy out with the snow coming down. I have four-wheel drive, or all-wheel drive rather, on my car, and I've lived in Minnesota my whole life, so I've been driving in snow since I was 15 and had my permit. That's many more years than I care to admit, I suppose, ago. I got my driver's license at the end of the last millennium. Just before Y2K. That's when I turned 16. So, anyway. Oh, look at those pretty branches. There's a red-berried elderberry planted in the neighbor's yard that hangs over in a lilac. Bunch of scrub trees too. Some of these are growing on my side through the fence. They're just mulberry saplings because there's a mulberry tree that a neighbor planted on purpose for some reason. I guess they like mulberries maybe, but man, what an invasive tree. So it comes up everywhere. That's a lot of what I have to chop down from that tries to grow up through these arborvitae here. This is why I leave benches out too. It just looks so pretty in the snow. And I mean, storing this kind of stuff is difficult. This is one of those like, what's it called? I was going to say all clad, but that's way wrong. It's one of those all weather polywood. That's what it is. Polywood benches. Oh, there's Mama. Mama cat just hanging out. How you doing, Mama? They're doing good. They're definitely using those shelters. I'm really grateful that our neighbors gave us those. They've helped them a lot. Helped them out quite a bit. Run up to the front, see what's going on down there. The front yard. I have to snow blow this for sure. This is real heavy shoveling. And I went to my workout class this morning, so some evergreens and yews look pretty. I try to keep it tramped down for the mailman to go through. The Russian sage is all weighed down from snow, but all the trees are all covered in white. Very, very pretty. Try not to protect with the umbrella, but keep it out of the frame. I am not a professional, so very pretty with Christmas lights on this evening too. We do have to keep the sidewalks clear. I think the city requires if you get more than 2 inches of snow, you're required to clear the sidewalks. We do anyways. Of course, the front walk. For people, that's not a requirement, but we do. Naturally, let the mailman get to our house. Although he tends to go in between the houses. Sometimes when we get a ton of snowfall, I'll shovel a little path through as well. So there's lots of like droppings on the ground too. I wonder if that's just from birds. And yeah, lots of evergreens through here. Got the yews, the hydrangeas here get pretty weighed down too. Ooh. Cat TV here, bird feeder. They sit on their perch in the window and watch the TV. Out the window, I mean. Oh man, my fingers are getting cold. We've got the blue shadow fothergilla here and the limoncello barberry. Also looking pretty. This one doesn't get as many berries as the other one. It also gets the other ones. It also gets a lot of shade. And you can see this area here is quite protected from any kind of weather. It doesn't often get direct rain or snow. Also a microclimate. Stays very warm against the house, and it's shielded because the houses are very close together over here. But my house has also really deep eaves or soffits or whatever. So it shields quite a bit from getting in here, which is why I have the soaker hose. But I have tulips and daffodils planted. They've kind of... Oh, and I see cat poop. Darn it. I left a lot of this stuff to try and discourage the cats. This is like a litter box area because it stays thawed out most of the winter, I think. A lot of the winter. But anyway, I forgot what I was saying. There's the other dogwood here. I love this. You can see this through the windows where you can see like the red stems against the green evergreen background. Very pretty view just looking out the window here. Very striking colors in person in particular. And then the honeysuckle branches have such an interesting structure too there. The birds just love landing on those and flying to the bird feeders. My mom put up 2 bird feeders over here, another version of cat TV. And I gave up my... Oops, I'm stepping on... Sinking in, I'm stepping on garden bed. I gave up my only south-facing window where I would keep plants to the cats when we adopted. When we took in the 3 ferals off the street last year, I gave up my plant window so that they could have a window perch. And they love sleeping up there. I've got a couple cat beds now. So, all right. So I will leave you with that. I'm going to turn my camera off and go inside. My fingers are frozen. But I hope everybody's having a great holiday season. If you're in the Twin Cities area, I hope you can hunker down. I know one of my workout buddies was supposed to drive out to La Crosse today, but I think they aborted mission because it's like blizzard warning, high winds later on, and super heavy snow. So not great conditions to be driving in if you don't need to, but yeah, so their plans are a little bit thwarted for the holidays. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.